So 10 years since this Ashes series, guys, where you beat England 5-0. It was a weird one because it was a quick turnaround from the previous one in England because the schedule was all flipped on its head. But did you have any inkling that you were going to do that to them? Like, you not only beat them, you pulverised them, and you sent blokes into retirement mid-series as well. It was the perfect storm from an Australian perspective and not so much from an English perspective.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was the most enjoyable part of my cricket career. To have the opportunity to play in a team like that for 6 weeks. We had the same 11 players for every test match. And we're all at the same stage in our career. We all thought we deserved an Ashes campaign. We'd played long enough. And when we lost 3-0 in England, it wasn't that we got nailed by them. It was we just lost all the big moments. And that was on a lot of the senior players. And so we had to fix that. And we knew if we did, that this England team were vulnerable. We just didn't play well enough to get in there and break them. But this series, everything clicked. Chris played well. David played well at the top of the order. Everyone had their moment. But in the end, it was Mitchell Johnson was playing a different game to anyone that's ever played.
We'll get to Mitch in a moment, Bucky, but I just want to touch on one memory. When Hads got out within sight of a century in the first test up at the Gabba, was there a massive dummy spit that you can remember? And what was he like in those moments when it was...
Never dummy spit.
It was all... No Michael Slater pads in the toilet type situation or anything like that?
No, I don't remember it. I do remember, I don't know if you've spoken about this, but Hads was the king of the casual hurl just before he had to go out and bat or field. So there would be a bin there, and he'd just lean over and throw up. It was weird. I'd never
in the
seen
bin
it before. So
well, I couldn't make it to the toilet. It was coming as I walked out.
You
so
knew it was coming, so like organise yourself.
Late. It's just a little one, and you walk out. It was
yeah. It's strange. I'd never seen it, and you kind of stand next to him. He just casually just turn over and just put his lunch in the bin, and then he just good to go, out you go. I was like, what is that? So yeah, I don't think he was pretty relaxed. I think playing right. I don't remember too many dummy spits. A few of the other blokes did.
No, fair enough. Oh, actually, Buck, have it go back through your memory. Last test at the Oval when you're reading your Kindle, and I got sent in to pinch hit the Creatine.
Is that when you had a big blow up? Is it?
Remember, you're laying on the floor in the Oval, and somehow the Creatine tub went over everyone in the change room.
What colour was that? It was like blue or something, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right.
You can explain it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it went everywhere. Yeah. Oh, well, we all have those moments.
So you got out and you've just flung the bat and it's hit the Creatine tub and it's just gone like a magic trick. It's just gone all up in the air.
We were sitting there. It was the last test match and the game was fizzling out into a draw. And we nearly lost it in the end, actually. The light saved us. And we were sort of just sitting there saying, oh, well, we've got a plan for next Ashes. And Michael said, we're going to try to win this. And we're thinking, hang on a minute, there's only 2.5 hours left. He said, go out and see if you can move the game forward.
Yeah.
I said, oh, there you go, another drinking game. I just got that in.
Drink.
Anyway, I've tried.
Yeah.
Nicked it.
Failed.
Walked off, and then we sort of closed up. And I don't know how it was there, but I sort of flung my bat, and I didn't think anyone was in the room. I wouldn't have done it with anyone who was in the room. And there's a massive Creatine tub for the bowlers, and the whole room, it was just had a dust. And I've sort of walked into the shower just to calm down. I've come out, and it looked like a murder scene. It had an imprint of like all the dust around and just this clear bit on the ground. I looked over, and it's all over Bucky's face. He was laying there reading his Kindle.
Reading like a bit of Sigmund Freud, just trying to get intelligent about it. How good.
He's never been more muscly in his life.
How good. I know. No wonder he's cut. Looks like John Cena. Hey, Bucky, just back to that series a decade ago. Was it as fiery as the reputation it's given? Like as in the sledging and, getting into the opposition? And obviously Jonathan Trott left the tour early. Graham Swan just went, I've time out. I'm going home for Christmas. See you later. I'm done with Test cricket. Was it particularly fiery, like over the top, or was it just normal cricket and they couldn't cop it?
No, it was. It come from really in England, because England had got ahead in the series and then they were giving it to us. And I mean, I remember Jim Henson, and he has a strong Northern English accent. And I reckon he called me an effing old C, I don't know, 50 times kind of thing. And that's all he'd say to me. And there was one time he walked past me. I was like in mid-conversation in the middle of the pitch with the other batter, and I heard him say something. And I was like, he said something different now, I think. So, and I never engaged with him. I turned around. I said, what did you say? He said, you effing ugly old C. That was it. Oh, good chat, mate. So I remember after the series, I went up to him and I said, mate, like, do you think you could come up with some better sledging, like something a little bit different? And he just looked at me, said, Buck, he said, I'm too dumb to think of anything else. So I was like, fair enough. But there was this kind of, it was on. And then we felt, we'd lost because Hads was in India when they had the homework gate. So can't remember what was that 9 tests without a win. And then we played that game. Hads had the unbelievable day one. We were in a little bit of trouble. He came out, just closed his eyes and swung, and it came off as sometimes it would, big fella. And then we went out to bowl. And I remember we had specific plans, and they were kind of built around Mitch. And we had this kind of leg slip for Trot. And Mitch was running in and bowling speed of light, and Hads was standing, so far back, or almost outside the circle, and he got a little tickle, and didn't go leg slip, but I went to how'd you put it, and it was, we came together, and I reckon that was the moment. It was almost like, yep, this series is ours. We're going to win this because the plans are going to work. And then right after that, in came Peterson. And Mitch bowled him a bumper, and he went to, this is one of the great players ever, and he went to pull it, and it was too fast, and he pulled out, and he just went, God, at top of his voice kind of thing, and it was like, we were all over these guys. And then we dominated on the back of Mitch, and then he had Ryan Harris, who was, bowling the absolute house down as well. Sometimes doesn't get the credit what you do, and even Sid did a brilliant job as well, along with Nath. So we had this unbelievable attack that could get 20 wickets, and we just need to get the runs. So that was amazing.
Now, there's obviously one particular part of that series that will live forever, and it's the Mitch Johnson spell at Adelaide Oval. So 4 or 5 overs of just extreme brutality and pace. And Had's a question for you. Who was his first victim of that little spell just after lunch? I think it was on day 2.
Day 2?
Yeah, or whatever. But his first of that spell where he took 4 or 5 wickets and just destroyed, dismantled. Nope. He took
Carberry.
He got Cook earlier in the innings, but that particular spell. Ben Stokes, first ever test.
Ben Stokes.
Oh, yeah. I've had that good story about that first test too with Ben Stokes. He got fined in his first test. Remember that?
Did he?
Well, I don't know if you remember this, Buck. But I remember leading into that game, and there was talk about Ben Stokes playing, and Michael Divenuto, our batting coach at the time, you sort of asked him about what sort of character he is. He said he's fiery. If you get the opportunity, mate, he will bite. And I remember it being on 50, and he bowled me. He's beautifully loud. He nicked it, walked off, and I was halfway off, and there was a cheer. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Sounds like the Aussies. I looked up, and it was a no ball.
Oh.
And I walked back in and walked past Ben Stokes, and I sort of tapped him on the bum, said, mate, congratulations about your first test wicket. It's a tough thing to get it. And all of a sudden, things are blowing up everywhere. I'm laughing. Clark's out there batting as well. He goes, what have we done here? And I said, mate, he's only young. This is going to work in our favour. And he's trying to bowl faster, and we're saying, congratulations, big moment, first test wicket. And in the end, he got fined a percentage of his match fee in his first test. And I got nothing. So...
Yeah, well, he's made up for it. But what do you remember about that day? Like, coming in every 5 seconds to join in the celebration in the huddle.
It was a bit like when he bowled to South Africa in that first test, just following that. It's like you're bowling to world-class players, but you're making them look like club players, and you're just knocking. And it doesn't really, we've all played against these guys a bit, and they've always, they've had a lot of success kind of thing. And here's Jono just eating them up for fun, really. But just bowling so fast, we had to face him in the nets, and this was before
horrible
the tragic Phil Hughes incident, and so he used to practice bowling bumpers at the top order, including me. I'm 30, whatever, 6,
colourblind,
and just absolutely petrified in the nets. But he was he was bowling so fast. It's hard to describe. It was just incredible to watch.
Mate, what was better for you that series? Your 4th innings century to win the Boxing Day Test, or the soaring catch at the Wacker to dismiss Tim Bresnan, which I'm told was later reenacted with beer in hand after winning the series?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I must admit that was enjoyable. I remember that after that we went to Warnings Villa at the casino as well. Remember, Hads, and we had an absolute stormer there. That was brilliant. But that was a great, because that was us winning the series, really. The other thing about the Melbourne and the Sydney Test, they're the best 2 tests to play in, because of the time of the year, it's holidays. It's absolutely brilliant. So I think you throw in having success in those games, and that was probably, like Had said, it was some of the best time of. I'll just go. I'll tell one more story. I think you're getting the hint to wrap it up. But
no.
One of the other things I remember in the series in England was you'd review, and I don't know if it still happens, but whenever you review, so there'd be an LB shout, be given out, the batsmen would come together and they'd kind of have a discussion, and I was often because I was opening the batting with Watto, and we knew every time he got hit in the pad, he's reviewing, right? So, and then he'd that all you'd hear from the England players is do it, and then he'd eventually review, and they would just burst into cheers, like that kind of thing. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I remember he did this in the first test, Trent Bridge, and he got it wrong again, and he was absolutely crucified on social media. And then we played the second test. And before that, he comes to me and says, "Fuck," he said, "Mate, I'm not reviewing. I don't care if it's going. I'm not reviewing. I'm over this." I was like, "Yeah, smart thinking, mate. About time, kind of thing." Anyway, played at the Lords, where they got 300 odd. We're none for 40, I think, or none for 30 odd, and I think it was Bresnan nipped one down slow and hit him kind of in front, and anyway, given out, and he's gone head down. He has to walk past me to go to the pavilion, and he kind of gets there, and I'm like, "What are you going to review?" And he looks up, he goes, "No, mate, that's palm." I said, "Mate, no, I reckon that's hit you outside the line." He goes, "No, mate, that's out." I said, "Mate, I'm telling you that's hit you outside the line." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yes, it's definitely hit you outside the line." And he goes, "Well, you better be sure." I said, "Yeah, I am, mate." So we reviewed, and sure enough, all the England guys, that kind of thing. Anyway, red, absolutely plum. See you later. I got absolutely smashed on social media. All my fault.
The poor bastard. We're going to give him the right of reply eventually. Because even still, when there's a bad review, you see it on social media, it's, he's done a Watto there. The poor guy, it just follows him everywhere.
But it came back to haunt me, because that LB that I followed shortly after, Swan bowled the full toss, went above the sight screen, all the crowd there. I'm colourblind. I didn't really see it. Tried to hit it over mid-wicket and hit me in the box. And I remember I was back with Uzi. And this time I had to walk the other way to go, like, Uzi, do you think I should review? And Uzi just kind of looked at me, didn't answer. Uzi, do you think I should review? He did not say a word. So I walked off. Sure enough, it was missing another set. So, it was probably my own fault.
Brilliant. Well, mate, thanks so much for joining us. Like the dance moves, I know you're a responsible coach now, but like, can you just give us one Hads about his dance moves at the fan celebration after that Ashes series win, or up in Warnie's Villa, or at Club 23, or wherever he ended up?
Oh, I can't talk about much of that, but what he said about us being the last two to ever get home, that's very true. And I'm not going to give away trade secrets, but I tell you what, this 2024 Paris,
yeah,
he could make it.
Well, it's one and done, Bucky. It's like it's like out of the Olympics after Paris, so your time's running out to qualify.
I'll tell one more story because we don't need to talk about that rubbish. But I'll tell one more story, and this is for you. I'll never forget this moment. So, no, this is a good one. I remember you were up the other end when I got my first 100, and it was fourth test at Durham kind of thing, and I'd faced 21 balls or something on 96, and I was panicking kind of thing. Watto had got out in the meantime, you'd come out, and I got to a point like I either try and hit him over, because it was all against Swan, I couldn't get off strike, so either I'd try and slog him over his head, which was going to end badly, or I just closed my eyes and sweep, and there was no one in the deep, so I in the end I'm going to sweep it, and he bowled it in the perfect spot, and I hit it, and there's a fraction there of the moment where the crowd doesn't know what's happened, but you know what's happened, and so it was like this unbelievable relief, and I'm kind of, because I'm 35, 36, and I'm run down the other end, and I don't even know if you remember what you said, Hads, but basically I was all these emotions, and then I just kind of got there, and you came up and you put your arm around me and said, "Mate, you deserve this," and that, like, it may not sound like much, but that meant so much to me, and it was a magic moment. So I'll always be grateful for that, mate. Good to have you down the other end.
Mate, it was enjoyably down the other end, but yeah, I was a bit like Uzi when he's going, am I going to sweep? I'm going to over the top. I'm just looking at him going, just get it in the middle. Just get it in the middle.
Hit the ball.
Mate, we both started our test career late. So you go through stages in your career where, and Buck and I were the same, we thought we'd never, ever get a crack at test cricket. We were behind one of the best teams there. We're only able to get a game late. But just one to end, Buck. That Ashes series, we had 11 players through the whole 5 tests. To me, that was one of the most enjoyable times in my career. Not just winning the way we did and the style we did, but the men we had in the change room. I think from 1 to 11 and our staff, we all complimented each other.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when do you ever have a series where it's all 11 players? And we'll always have that. That's one of those things. You'll always be able to share that with everyone. And I because we came in late, every moment you're trying to make a winner. And these were brand new experiences. These were incredible. So yeah, I'll be forever grateful to be a part of that. And have those memories for the rest of our lives.